Welcome to this video on Resolving What Divides, a manager's guide to team conflict resolution. This video offers a practical framework for people managers to address interpersonal tensions that often derail team performance. This program is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team as part of the Career Guidance Series and Business Management.
As a people manager, your role is to step into the middle of conflict and resolve what others cannot. You are the neutral force, protecting team culture and restoring working relationships. Inaction allows conflict to fester, compounding its cost and making resolution harder over time. Part 1. The anatomy of a team conflict. Before resolving a conflict, you must understand what is happening beneath the surface, the facts, the feelings, and what each party is trying to protect. Every dispute has 3 layers. First, examine what happened by focusing on objective, verifiable events. Second, acknowledge the feelings and emotional impact. Third, recognize the self-image and professional standing, as these disputes are the hardest to resolve. The mediation triangle illustrates the intersection of 3 obligations: personal morality, ethical context, and role responsibility. Strong mediators consider all 3, especially when one obligation conflicts with another. Effective mediation balances evidence-based assessment, using documented incidents and patterns, with contextual judgment, weighing relationships, history, and intent. Structured frameworks reduce emotional reactivity and prevent accidental partiality in high-tension situations. Chapter 1. Entering the conflict as a mediator. The intervention your team needs most is often the one you are postponing. This chapter provides the mindset and structure for stepping in effectively. We avoid intervening due to the fear of picking a side and the "it will blow over" trap. Additionally, managers must address the power imbalance problem by openly acknowledging differentials to protect the more vulnerable party. Gather clarity before convening a joint session. This involves 3 steps. Map the core dispute, focusing on the root issue. Meet each party separately first to prevent grandstanding and gain a fuller picture. Finally, define a realistic goal, recognizing that a workable professional agreement may be the first step, not genuine reconciliation. Principled neutrality is the mediator's sweet spot. Empathize genuinely to build trust and ensure both parties feel heard. Direct honestly by naming observations clearly and specifically. Avoid the traps of false harmony and blunt adjudication, which do not lead to durable resolution. Thoughtful structure signals respect and fairness in the joint session. Set the container by choosing a private, neutral space with no time pressure. Master the art of the question to illuminate perspective without assigning blame. Ensure both voices by providing equal space for each person to speak, respond, and clarify. The 7 steps to a productive mediation are a repeatable structure. Start by preparing with individual meetings and clear goals. Acknowledge the relationship dynamic and your role. Validate each party's experience without early blame. Then, invite dialogue, keeping the focus on impact and behavior. Agree on concrete commitments and document them for shared accountability. Chapter 2. The high-stakes conflict. Some conflicts require more than a single mediation. It's part of your mandate to recognize when a dispute threatens the team and to respond with proportionate authority. Conflict crosses the line when it involves harassment and hostile conduct, which are non-negotiable. Chronic unresolved patterns suggest a structural incompatibility. Team contamination, where dysfunction splits the team, means escalation is necessary. Consider the case of the high performer who poisons the team. The principle is that output does not excuse interpersonal harm. Tolerance of toxic behavior becomes the actual culture. A single tolerated exception rewrites the rules for everyone watching. The good faith clash is complex, involving 2 reasonable, stuck colleagues. Recognize that sincerity is not compatibility. Sometimes, a structural resolution is necessary, clarifying roles or redistributing responsibilities to remove friction points. Chapter 3 focuses on building a collaborative culture. After managing difficult moments, leadership shifts to repair, prevention, and establishing an environment where conflict is addressed before it escalates into a crisis. After mediation, deliberate follow-up is critical for relational repair. This involves check-ins 24 to 48 hours later. Formal HR involvement shows professional maturity, especially for complex disputes. Conflict, addressed honestly, is a team growth tool that strengthens trust. To prevent future conflict, set norms before crises demand them, establishing clear behavioral expectations early. Model the behavior you expect. Your conduct is the most powerful standard setter. Growth lives in discomfort, and handling friction strengthens relationships. In closing, the mediator's mandate is to intervene with courage, build through trust by being consistent, and lead with purpose. Leadership means engaging in the moments of interpersonal conflict that test your team and define your impact.